The past is not what it seems. Secrets buried, truths forgotten. Welcome to Strange History, where the unknown becomes known.
When I was a young man growing up in New York City, I refused to pledge allegiance to the flag. Of course, I was sent to the principal's office and he asked me why. "Don't you want to pledge allegiance? Everybody does." I said, "Everybody once believed the earth was flat, but that doesn't make it so." I explained that America owed everything it has to other cultures and other nations, and that I would rather pledge allegiance to the earth and everyone on it. Needless to say, it wasn't long before I left school entirely, and I set up a lab in my bedroom. There, I began to learn about science and nature. I realized then that the universe is governed by laws and that the human being, along with society itself, was not exempt from these laws. Then came the crash of 1929, which began what we now call the Great Depression. I found it difficult to understand why millions were out of work, homeless, starving, while all the factories were sitting there, resources unchanged. It was then that I realized that the rules of the economic game were inherently invalid. Shortly after came World War II, where various nations took turns systematically destroying each other. I later calculated that all the destruction and wasted resources spent on that war could have easily provided for every human need on the planet. Since that time, I have watched humanity set the stage for its own extinction. I have watched as the precious, finite resources are perpetually wasted and destroyed in the name of profit and free markets. I have watched the social values of society be reduced into a base artificiality of materialism and mindless consumption. And I have watched as the monetary powers control the political structure of supposedly free societies. I'm 94 years old now, and I'm afraid my disposition is the same as it was 75 years ago. This shit's got to go.
We often perceive the world as a fixed and objective reality. However, much of what we consider real is shaped by human-made constructs. These constructs include institutions, laws, and belief systems. Money is a prime example. It is not an inherent quality of nature, but a human invention. Money serves as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value. These functions are vital for the functioning of complex societies. We rely on these agreed-upon systems to facilitate trade and organize our lives. Understanding the nature of these constructs is crucial for comprehending the complexities of our world. By acknowledging the role of human agency in shaping our reality, we empower ourselves to question, analyze, and potentially reshape these systems for the betterment of humanity. The story of money and banking offers a compelling lens through which to explore this dynamic. Before the advent of money, early societies relied on barter systems. Barter involves the direct exchange of goods and services. For example, a farmer might trade a bushel of wheat for a blacksmith's tools. While functional, barter systems have limitations. They require a double coincidence of wants. This means each party must desire what the other possesses. The need for a more efficient system led to the emergence of money. Early forms of money included commodities like gold, silver, and even cattle. These commodities possessed certain desirable characteristics. They were durable, divisible, and relatively scarce. These properties made them suitable as mediums of exchange. Precious metals in particular gained prominence. Their inherent value and relative rarity made them a reliable store of value. This transition from barter to precious metals marked a significant step in the evolution of human societies. The creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913 stands as a pivotal moment in American history. Its origins are shrouded in secrecy. In November 1910, a clandestine meeting took place on Jekyll Island, off the coast of Georgia. A small group of powerful financiers and politicians gathered in secret. This gathering included figures like Senator Nelson Aldrich and J.P. Morgan, Jr., representing the interests of Wall Street. The meeting's purpose was to address the recurring financial panics that plagued the nation. The attendees sought to design a system that would centralize financial power. The result of this secretive gathering was the drafting of the Federal Reserve Act. This act, passed by Congress in 1913, created the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve, often called the Fed, would serve as the central bank of the United States. This event marked a turning point in the control and issuance of money in America. For centuries, gold backed most monetary systems. This meant that paper money could be exchanged for a specific amount of gold. This system provided a tangible backing to currency and imposed a degree of discipline on governments. However, the Federal Reserve Act marked a departure from this gold standard. The U.S. dollar, under the Federal Reserve System, became a fiat currency. Fiat currency derives its value not from an underlying commodity like gold, but from the faith and trust of the people who use it. The government declares it legal tender, requiring its acceptance for debts. This shift to a fiat system granted governments greater flexibility in managing the money supply. However, it also decoupled the value of money from a tangible asset. This move has been the subject of ongoing debate among economists and policymakers. Some argue that it provides greater stability and control. Others contend that it creates instability and undermines the value of savings. The alchemy of finance. One of the most intriguing aspects of modern banking is the concept of fractional reserve banking. This system allows banks to create new money through the process of lending. Here's how it works. Banks are required to hold a fraction of their deposits as reserves, known as the reserve requirement. The remaining portion of deposits can be lent out to borrowers. When a bank makes a loan, it doesn't simply hand over existing money. It creates a new deposit in the borrower's account, effectively creating new money. This new money is then put back into circulation through spending. This cycle of lending and deposit creation allows banks to multiply the initial amount of money in the system. This process is often referred to as the money multiplier effect. While fractional reserve banking fuels economic activity by making credit more readily available, it also carries inherent risks. If a large number of depositors simultaneously demand their money, a bank may not have sufficient reserves to meet these demands. This situation can lead to bank runs and financial instability. A nation divided. The history of the United States is intertwined with debates and struggles over control of the monetary system. Before the Federal Reserve, the nation witnessed the rise and fall of two central banks. The First Bank of the United States, from 1791 to 1811, and the Second Bank of the United States, from 1816 to 1836. These banks faced fierce opposition from those who feared centralized financial power. Opponents, including figures like Andrew Jackson, argued that central banks favored wealthy interests and undermined the economic freedom of everyday citizens. The debate centered on fundamental questions about the role of government in the economy. Should the government play an active role in managing the money supply, or should it maintain a hands-off approach? These historical struggles highlight the enduring tensions surrounding monetary policy. The creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913 did not end these debates. It merely shifted the battleground to new terrain. The burden of interest. Interest plays a crucial role in our current financial system. It is the price borrowers pay for accessing credit. While interest can incentivize saving and investment, it also has profound implications for the way our economy functions. One significant consequence of interest is its contribution to perpetual debt. When individuals, businesses, or even governments take on loans, they are often required to repay the principal amount plus interest. This interest, particularly when compounded over time, can significantly increase the overall debt burden. This can lead to situations where borrowers are trapped in a cycle of debt, constantly working to service their interest payments. This perpetual debt cycle has far-reaching consequences for individuals, families, and entire economies. It can limit economic mobility, exacerbate wealth inequality, and hinder economic growth. Understanding the mechanics of interest is crucial for comprehending the complexities of our financial system. A widening gap. The current monetary and banking system has been a subject of intense scrutiny, particularly in its role in exacerbating wealth disparity. Critics argue that the system, with its reliance on fiat currency, fractional reserve banking, and perpetual debt cycles, disproportionately benefits those at the top of the economic ladder. One of the main critiques is that inflation, often a byproduct of fiat currency systems, erodes the purchasing power of savings. This disproportionately affects low and middle-income individuals who hold a larger proportion of their assets in cash or savings accounts. Additionally, access to credit, while essential for economic mobility, can become a double-edged sword. Those with poor credit histories often face exorbitant interest rates, trapping them in a cycle of debt. This situation further widens the gap between the wealthy and the rest. Understanding the connection between the current system and wealth disparity is crucial for fostering a more equitable society. A call to action. The story of money and banking is a complex and often opaque one. It is a story of power, control, and the constant struggle to shape our economic destinies. As we have explored, the current system, while possessing certain advantages, has also given rise to significant challenges, including perpetual debt, wealth disparity, and financial instability. So where do we go from here? The first step lies in awareness. By educating ourselves and engaging in informed discussions, we can begin to dismantle the complexities of the financial system. This understanding empowers us to question the status quo and explore alternative models. We must encourage transparency and accountability within our financial institutions. Furthermore, we must advocate for policies that promote financial literacy and economic justice. This includes exploring innovative approaches to money and banking that prioritize the well-being of all members of society, not just a select few. The future of finance is not predetermined. It is a canvas upon which we, as informed and engaged citizens, have the power to paint a more just and equitable world.
The past is a shadow we'll never outrun. Thanks for venturing into the unknown with us on this journey through strange history. But this is only the beginning. Stay tuned as we uncover more secrets, unravel hidden truths, and walk deeper into the mysteries that shaped our world. Like, follow, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss what's waiting in the dark. Until next time, stay curious and stay vigilant.